Hey guys, been about 4 weeks since the last creepypasta, eh? Well, don't you worry. I got another one coming up for you, and it's another good one. And it's a story called Sobering Flare, a My Little Pony creepypasta rewritten, made by LafaWndaPasta, the same guy that made the creepypasta known as Crystal Bubbles PSA, which I read before in the last video. So yeah, would it be better than the Good World DVD creepypasta? Well, there's only one way to find out. But first, we need to check some things and make sure we get ready. Water bottles in case my voice gets strained? Check. Headphones with good mic quality? Checko. And finally, the darkness for extra spookiness-ish. Check-a-mundo. Alright, with that being said, and with me getting ready done, let's get into reading Sobering Flare, made by LafaWndaPasta. Let us begin. The following you are about to read is a description of a video that was discovered on a hard drive belonging to Mia Forbes. And approximately a week after he sparked a Holland High School shooting. Shortly after authorities arrived, Mia took her own life in the midst of the school cafeteria by placing her chin over the barrel of her firearm and pulling the trigger. Investigators also reportedly found a typed manifesto hidden in her backpack, explaining her plan in full detail. The final name of the video was simply titled SF.Move, and it was a fan-created My Little Pony Friendship is Magic animation by Mia herself. One of the characters was found out to have been voiced by her. The identities of the various voice actors who participated aside from her, and whether or not the voice actors were paid for their work, remain unknown. The video would begin with the Times New Roman text reading Sobering Flare with a faint, blurry glow. A reverse symbol sound effect would play before cutting to Fluttershy, staring at the faintly mirror with a look of annoyance and grief. Darkness surrounded her cottage interior, the only light being somewhat dimly lit from a nearby window, as if she was stuck in a somewhat brighter void, with nothing but her own reflection. She would speak to the mirror, like if it were another person. The sea of ignorance bubbles up like soap. There is no winning for you, unless you're at your boiling point. Why don't you make it more clear to one of them tomorrow afternoon? The voice given to Fluttershy is that of a girl in her late teen years, rather than an impression of a canon voice itself. This basically makes it clear that Mia is her voice actor. The scene jump cuts to a daytime setting, with Raymond Dash knocking on her cottage door. Fluttershy enters the door with the same gloomy, irritated look that she had in the first scene. Rainbow? Flutters! Took you long enough.
I've been waiting to go out for lunch with you for hours!
I'm like bored to death. You're ready, right? I want you to listen to me on our way to the cafe. Do not interrupt. I know how in-depth and paying attention you can get. Okay? Fluttershy trots outside and slams the door behind her, maintaining the same poker face emotion as she does so. She and Rainbow Dash then make their way down the dusty, gravel-filled road. Nothing but the ambience of tweeting birds and clopping hooves can be heard. Around 10 seconds into walking down the road, Fluttershy turns to Rainbow Dash and speaks to her. Some consider life as a whole to be a precious gift. Wouldn't you agree? Some people take a good look at nature and wonder whether or not it was made purely by intelligent design. Sure, Celestia raises the sun, but did she create it? Did she make all of this? Whoa!
Did Twilight show up to your house for an egg test or something?
I'm just kidding. I like life. You need better once you get used to what you're good at. I mean, look at me. I got a sick main style. Feels like I'm awesome and cool. What could be better than that? I don't. What? I don't like life as much as you think I do. Sure, you want things to muffle the pain, like how I have my animals. But that doesn't change the fact that you can't save everyone, or save everything, for the matter. Look at the everfree forest. Do you see a predator laying down with prey when you walk in there? It's absurd to think about. It connects back to your likes too. Someday, you're going to crash and burn at that speed. Fluttershy, I don't know what the bookworm taught you, but you're probably just in a bad mood or something. Let's chat more at the cafe, okay? I got a reservation for some hay fries and veggies too. Sure, whatever. Rainbow looks away for a moment, eyelids drooping with a slightly worried expression. Before shaking her head, perhaps Fluttershy is just having a bad day, and she's overthinking it. Or is she? The scene cuts to the two mayors at the Ponyville Cafe, sitting at the table outside. The sun shines down upon the two, with Rainbow Dash sipping from a bowl of vegetable stew, all while Fluttershy was just sitting there, staring down into her bowl. Bags more visible under her eyes as the screen closes up on her face. You know what this stew reminds me of, Rainbow? Wait, let me guess. Is that you try to feed your rabbit every so often? It reminds me of the mirror I looked into this morning. Kind of. You look like a vegetable? No. Notice how the stew is an assortment of many vegetables. Carrots, potatoes, peas, broth. Imagine you spill all of it. I guess that would suck. Exactly. When I look in the mirror, I see a jumbled mess. The vegetables represent my emotions. I'm upset, relief, disappointed, disgust, all at the same time. The broth represents my mind. Mashing it all together into some ungodly mess, like a full wood. Huh? I thought you liked veggies too! Oh, believe me, I like how it tastes, but when you first look at it, it's not all that appetizing. Fluttershy picks up a bowl of vegetable stew and tilts it into her mouth, swallowing half of the bowl before placing it back down. Some of the stew gets in her hair, and upon taking the bowl away from her mouth, she coughed up some of the broth and let it flow down the wrong pipe of her poor throat. Fluttershy, are you nuts? Who eats stew that fast? Eat slower next time. Damn, you would glow like a balloon doing that.
Relax. I don't need your cuddling today.
Cuddling? What cuddling?
I'm talking about you acting like I need a mother for everything I do. Just like everyone else. It's uncanny.
Fluttershy's voice now grunty from the broth that was poured down in her throat. She would finish swallowing the other half before getting out of her seat, staring back at Rainbow, with her misaligned eyes, tired as can be. She raises a hoof, gesturing to Rainbow Dash to come with her someplace else. The only background noises consisted of nothing but other ponies at the cafe, conversationing with one another. Well, let's go relax by the lake, like you wanted. Can I eat my stew first? Fine. I'll see you there. Fluttershy then turns around and walks away. The quabbling of the hooves now turn into stomps against the dirt. Her hoof prints were almost like gobbler holes at that point. she was clearly upset about something. Rainbow would whisper to herself as her friend walked off.
Oh gosh, did I make her mad or something?
The screen then cuts to Rainbow Dash, making her way over to Ponyville's bridge, until her walk is interrupted by Pinkie Pie, jumping right in front of her face, with pure glee.
Hi, Dashie!
Rainbow falls back in pure shock, going from the sudden jump scare that was Pinkie Pie spontaneously appearing in front of her. She then gets back up, waving her mane back and forth, in an attempt to get the dirt out.
Oh my Celestia! Pinkie Pie! Don't do that! You scared the feathers off my wings, damn it! Oh, sorry! I just had a really good day today. When I see the twins all happy and playful, I get okay, you know? And I got the travel to execute early, and wow! It's even better than last time! Pinkie Pie, listen to me! What are you doing so good? Oh, what's that?
Pinkie Pie tilts her head curiously, raising an eyebrow. She still kept that smile on her face, though. Knowing her, she has a way to make people smile. At least, she thinks she has a way.
Well, she's been more uncomfortable around me than usual. I know she has an angry side. I've seen it. But she's been unreasonable. And I don't know why. Just this morning, she told me she didn't like life for some reason. And when I told her the reason I did, she told me that I'll crash and burn with how I fly. And when we were eating, she told me something about thinking she's ugly. And when we just asked her if I could finish eating, she scowled at me and stomped off. And I don't know what's coming into her. Seriously, I didn't even do anything. She's probably just having one of those days. Nothing to get uneasy about. That's what I thought when I showed up at her door this morning. I think there's something going on that I don't know about. Don't worry about it too much, silly Philly. How about I go talk to her? She knows me like she knows the rest of us. I'm sure she'll listen. Pinkie Pie, no, that's not a good idea. Dashie, trust me, you can count on Pinkie Holmes to figure out the case of, well, what Fluttershy you said. Yeah! Pinkie, no!
Rainbow would try to call her close friend back to her in an attempt to keep her from making things worse. But upon realizing that Pinkie probably won't listen, and considering that she's friends with everyone in Ponyville, all she could do is stand there and bite her hoof in fear. The scene comes to Fluttershy, sitting next to the lake, her mane flowing gracefully underneath the bridge connecting Ponyville together. She stares at the water as the ambience of tweeting birds and rushing water fade to screeching, reverbed violins. The screen cuts to the water with a visual picture of someone's face forming in the water's reflection. It was very blurry, but just as it was about to show, Pinkie Pie jumped in front of Fluttershy, like he did with Rainbow Dash, blocking her view of the river.
Hi, Fluttershy. A little birdie told me that you were having a bad day.
Leave me alone. I'm already annoyed enough that no one can see the obvious problem. What makes me think you will?
See what? All I see is your frowny face. Tell you what, why don't you come over to my place and we can have some muffins? I ate at the cafe. Please go away. Aw, but I want to see you happy. Come on, I bet I can put a smile on your face. How about you help me take care of the twins? I don't know why I always like petting a cute little puppy.
Pinkie, shut up!
Fluttershy was visibly grinding her teeth, her hooves sinking into the dirt below her from the sheer annoyance that was Pinkie's voice.
How about I come over to your cottage and I can help with your Adam? Katie, I said shut up.
Pinkie falls silent for a few seconds.
Tilting her head once again, out of confusion, still keeping that happy-go-lucky smile on her bright pink face.
I'm no Katie, silly. Only Pinkie. What? Do I remind you of a Katie? Is she like me? Can I meet her? Can I? You spineless twat! Shut the fuck up!
At that moment, Fluttershy gets up out of her sitting position and rams her head directly into Pinkie's. Pinkie is thrown back at least 5 feet away by a sudden headbutt, as he was bouncing erratically before or the hit. A mix of saliva and mucus peeled out of her nose in the line, some of it getting into Fluttershy's hair. Pinkie tried to stand up, but the hit from her close friend affected her to such a negative degree. Physically, yes, but emotionally, even more. He would press a hoof against her nostril and put it away. There were no stallions or mares around to see it. Surprisingly enough, no one to help her, except for Rainbow Dash. Her forehead was soon veins and in pure anger. Rainbow Dash, upon seeing this, would zoom over to where poor Pinkie was, kneeling and helping her up by biting down on part of her hair, like a handbag.
Pinkie! Are you okay? Can you stand?
Pinkie was indeed able to stand, just barely, as she was having a bit of trouble keeping balance from the frontal assault. She sniffles, and her voice starts croaking up, with the background music morphing to a depressing xylophone.
What did I do wrong? I did everything I could to be nice to her. She's such a good pony. What happened to her? What happened? She usually likes me. Why?
Upon seeing Pinkie Pie break down into tears, Rainbow Dash darted her eyes to her right and opened her mouth, about to say something to Fluttershy, but she sees her running off towards the direction of her cottage. She shies, believing that she can confront her later. Right now, she has to get Pinkie Pie somewhere, to a hospital perhaps. Rainbow Dash gestures to Pinkie to hold into her back for balance, as the scene cuts to a field behind them, slowly turning upwards, fading to black, as the sky is the only thing visible. The scene cuts to a night setting, with Rainbow Dash repeatedly slamming her hoof against Fluttershy's front door. Her teeth clench, and eyes widen, with a proximus of rage. She was screaming at the top of her lungs, with a small amount of Pinkie Pie's blood on her hooves, from when she had to carry her to the hospital.
Open the door now!
Rainbow Dash's voice boomed out not only Fluttershy's cottage, but the surrounding area too, causing most of the animals to back up. Shortly after, Fluttershy opens the door, with her expression even more disobedient and upset than before.
What? What do you want from me? How long will it take for you to realize?
Before Fluttershy can even finish, Rainbow Dash storms inside and slams the door behind her, huffing clouds of air out of her nose and gaps at her teeth. She looked like she was about to burst.
Don't you fucking back away from me! We're going to talk whether you like it or not! Just tell me this! What happened to you? You were so sweet, so kind to every pony! You told me that I should be grateful with what I fucking get! I trusted you! I invited you to have lunch with me! And this is what you give in return? Beating up Pinkie? The pony that loved you? And me like sisters? What the fuck happened? Tell me!
Fluttershy was silent at the moment, her eyelids drooping in a depressive state. She had a face, that looked like he didn't care at all about what he did.
Well, say something!
Did you catch on?
Huh? Catch you to what?
Upon saying that, Fluttershy would trot over to her front door and shut it, before turning the lock with her teeth. Her head slowly turned around, her droopy eyes goggling into Rainbow's soul. The only light illuminating the room came from her fireplace. Fluttershy's head would then tilt it downward, to the point where her hair covered a majority of her face. A moment of silence would flow through the room, for a moment, before Fluttershy stood up on her hind legs, assuming a human posture, slowly approaching Rainbow Dash with no problem. The background music began to slowly change into a low-pitched trumpets, all blowing at random keys and echoing as if they were in an orchestral hall. You never cared about me, Chef.
Chef! First you called Pinky Katie, and now I'm Chef! Who are these people?
Stop pretending. You're so goddamn ignorant. You were like this earlier today when I left my cottage. And here you are, acting like you don't even know yourself. You make me sick to my stomach.
Fluttershy comes closer to Rainbow Dash, with the background slowly transferring to nothing but darkness, and the light crackling from her roaring fire.
You just love acting like this is all a phase, don't you? That I'm just a creep in the back of the classroom that'll get over everything in a flash. Are you blind? Remember when you told me to talk to my mom? Yeah, she thought I was the one manipulating her. When I told her I hate my life, she felt that way. Somehow. When I tried to tell you what was going on at home, you didn't even acknowledge that I existed. Oh, how cute. You're just now trying to act like you cared. Too fucking late. I was bullied for shit I couldn't control in my life. Betrayed and ignored by people like you. Were you there for me when Biggie shoved my face into my lunch tray? Or when Mike tried to run me off the road on my way home? Or when my insulin was stolen and hidden in some other guy's backpack? Were you?
Fluttershy! Who are you talking about?
Why are you still lying to me?
Flutters, you're sick! Let me take you to the ER, please!
Fluttershy lifted her head up ever so slightly, showing a pair of anatomically correct human eyes, looking right at her with a soft glow. Rainbow, upon seeing this, would look down, shunning her eyes, her rage still very clear. Look at me, Chef. Look at me. Rainbow shook her head, her pure fascination now mixed with fear. That's it. Fluttershy would never act this way, or do something like this to a friend. Unless...
You're not Fluttershy! You're a monster! You lost all the resemblance of my friend! Look at me! Look at me, you fuck!
Fluttershy's head would finally show in its entirety. It wasn't a very pleasant sight. Her face completely morphed to a human look. It was specifically Mia's face herself, edited and shaded to perfection, with a sinister smile plastered on. Her eyes were now widened like saucers. And to top it all off, her mouth looked like it was cut off out of a magazine, changing pieces every single time she spoke. Rainbow Dash attempted to fly away, but Fluttershy would raise her hoof and slam it down on one of her wings, pinning her to the floor. Rainbow's opposite wing would flap out of desperation to escape, but Fluttershy would pin that one down as well, without a care for how her close friend is feeling. Heavily breathing, she would spit out one final quote. wait to see everyone's faces next week. With that, Fluttershy lifts her hoof up and brings down a furious force to Rainbow Dash's head. The animation cuts to black right before her head is stomped in, and the video ends with a single text box in the Times New Roman. Created by Mia F. The manifesto mentioned in the beginning had writing that connected back to the dialogue in the video. It started off with how Mia felt about herself, and the ending with how she felt about others. Once the incident was investigated and the deaths were recorded, it was found that some names mentioned in the animation were found to be killed in the shooting. Those people in question are Michael White,
Katie Laurier,
and Chef Laurier. Chef's body was found in a man's restroom, jaw dislocated, and skull smashed into pieces.
Alright, I'm gonna keep this short and simple. LafaWndaPasta, Sober and Flair, the rewritten story of the Goodwill DVD gets a 10 out of 10. Because of 3 simple things. The story? Amazing. The way you wrote the characters. I love it. And most importantly, the main plot of the CreepyPasta. And third, the main part of the story. It's just all 3 things. I love all of it. It's amazing. That's the short review of it. It's amazing. I love it. 10 out of 10. LafaWndaPasta, you're my new favorite creepypasta writer. That's all I'm gonna say. But before we go, I think it's time we spin the wheel. To the wheel! Welcome, my friends, to the wheel of the next LafaWndaPasta stories. That's right, I created the wheel myself. This wheel will allow me to choose the next creepypasta story I am going to read. Why don't we just spin the wheel and see what is the next story I am going to read? 3, 2, 1, spin! The next creepypasta story made by LafaWndaPasta is Rarities of Braid. That's going to be the next story for the next video. So yeah, Rarities of Braid is going to be the next one. But alright, now I gotta go.